Hey there, budding botanists. I'm Aaron.
I'm Evie.
We're just a couple of backyard botanists, and this is Botany for Kids. And today we're talking about a super cool plant that has had a very special history. It is the largest fruit-producing tree in North America. Stop. And it's called Pawpaw or Asimina triloba. There are a number of different pawpaw species, but this is the most common and most important one. It's been incredibly important throughout history as the Spanish explorers early in the 14 and 1500s survived on these. The Native Americans that were here for centuries and millennia before that tended to stands of them, and the enslaved Africans supplemented their meager diet with wild pawpaws as well. So it's been an incredibly important fruit that not a whole lot of people are familiar with anymore. And so
we just got home from the Pawpaw Festival.
We just got home from the Pawpaw Festival, and someone suggested, we were talking to them in line about Botany for Kids, and we were like, why haven't we done a pawpaw episode? And so today we're going to talk about some. We've got some smaller ones that we picked up today. We've got some larger ones in the garden and in pots too big to move around, so this will be perfect. We can show you. You want to show them, kind of take those leaves up there and show them what the leaves look like. So they have really large simple leaves. They kind of look like giant teardrops. I don't know if you can see those at all, but it's a very tropical looking tree. It's actually in a family of plants called the Annonaceae or the Annonaceae, and the Annonaceae it's much more common in tropical areas. So it's a very tropical looking tree. It's got very large leaves, one of the larger leaf trees in North America that you can find. What kinds of places does it like to grow? Do you remember?
Wet and sunny.
Yeah, so well, that gives us our best fruit production. So it likes wet areas, like areas along rivers and creeks and streams. It also likes some sun, and so an area along a river that also gets some sun means it's going to make lots of fruit, but they'll actually grow in a lot of shade. They just don't make nearly as much fruit. Okay, so let's look at some of the fruits. You want to show some of those up close, and maybe even, well, here we've sliced one open. Do you remember the names for, what are some of the other names for pawpaws? So they're also called
custard apples.
Custard apples.
This is the inside. There's a seed in there. You can see them.
Yeah, so the seeds are poisonous, but the inside kind of looks like a custard or a pudding. And they're also sometimes called mountain bananas. Some people even say they taste like banana, but they do not taste much like banana in my experience. They actually taste more like a mango or a melon. But there's a lot of variation, and the flavors are much more subtle. What do you think they taste like?
I've never had a plantain, but I think that's what a plantain would taste like.
Oh, they do taste more similar to like a plantain banana, if we're going to talk about bananas, and them having similar flavor. Okay, they bloom in the springtime, so we don't have a flower, but I'll post a picture in the video of the flowers. The flowers are super weird. What do you remember about the flowers?
They're brown.
Yeah, they're like a brown, dark reddish color. And what do they smell like? Yeah, they smell like rotten eggs. They smell weird. They smell like rotten eggs or rotten meat. And because they have that stinky smell, what pollinates them? Flies. So they're pollinated by flies, not bees.
Like trash.
Yes, flies like trash. Flies like stinky stuff. In fact, some people will even like tie or put rotten fish or rotten meat in their garden where they're trying to grow pawpaws, and they'll to try and help the flowers get pollinated so they'll have better fruit. Okay, and so we'll take a closer look, and we'll show you some of this fruit a little bit closer up, and then tell you a little bit more about these, and then review some more stuff about pawpaws. Sound good? Okay. All right, so taking a little closer look at less ripe pawpaw that I've cut open, you can see this one's particularly seedy, and the easiest way to deal with that is just kind of scoop the seeds out with a spoon, kind of like you'd scoop an avocado. You can see I cleaned the flesh or the fruit off these seeds. Remember, the seeds are toxic, you can't eat those. And all parts of pawpaws have compounds in them called actogenins. And these actually are really important compounds that are turning out to be useful in fighting things like cancer, making good medicines. But too much of them can really upset your stomach, make you super nauseous. In fact, some people can't eat much pawpaw at all, more than one fruit or so, and they get pretty sick. One important thing to note is that you don't want to eat these dry. You can't dry pawpaw fruits out, because eating the dried fruit leather can make you very sick too because of those compounds.
Welcome back.
All right, so just to review one more time. Today we're talking about
Pawpaws.
Asimina triloba in the Annonaceae family, or a more tropical family. We've got these leaves that are very large and simple, and the best place to look for them would be where?
In any damp area.
Yeah, so like along creeks or streams and rivers, maybe at some of your local parks. These are all over the United States, so you can find pawpaws. And if you can find them August, September, late September, even into early August in some places further south, if they've fallen off the tree, they may be too soft and squishy to eat. But the best, most perfect pawpaw is you walk up and you just barely twist it and it pops right off, and it's easy to
Yummy.
collect from there, right? Yeah, that's when they're ideally ripe, and they have some firmness, they have a nice sweet smell to them, and that's when they're ideal. What kinds of things can you do with pawpaw fruit besides eat it straight?
Ice cream.
You can
It's delicious.
Yes.
Someone made cake bread out of it.
Yes, so some people also make like a dessert bread out of pawpaws as well, so that's another really good thing to make. So if you're looking for them, you can look along rivers and streams in your park. You can also sometimes find little pawpaw trees for sale at the farmer's market. Sometimes you can find pawpaws for sale at the farmer's market if you want to give them a try. But most people are completely unfamiliar with these things unless they're looking for them very specifically. Oh, we eat these now, but who used to eat these?
Mammoth thing is sloths.
Yes, so giant ground sloths are what
Ground
used to
sloth.
eat these for thousands of years ago. That's why we have these large fruits that co-evolved with some larger mammals that are now extinct. We call these relics
Say bigger ones, big enough.
because they're left over from a time that's since then passed. Okay, so if you get a chance, look for them in the woods. They're great to forage. You can also look for them at the farmer's market. Very rarely will they have them at some sort of commercialized store, but hopefully you can track some down and give them a try and see what America's largest native fruit tastes like. And you can also, if you can track some down, make delicious things like bread and ice cream with them. So as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Evie.
And this is Botany for Kids.
And that is not our outro.
What is it?
And if you get a chance, get outside.
Oh, yeah.